watching.
I know, exactly. Crazy. Technology doesn't always work.
I'm going to knock on wood here. I've been pretty good so far. lately. All right, we're looks like we're ready. Okay. Welcome everyone to the New Media Show. My name is Todd Cochran. Make sure we get all the recorders turned on here. We've had this, Rob had a power outage, or actually surge, power on. So yeah, you've been 20 minutes trying to recover and you say your machine is possessed, right, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. I can't seem to my volume is like screaming in my ear, but anyway.
Well, you can hold it out and listen closely. I'll try to talk a little more quiet. We've got about 40 minutes. I've got a hard stop. I've got a car in the shop. I'm leaving tonight. My son can't drive a rental car. Yeah, so anyway, things are nuts. But anyway, welcome to the New Media Show, a special edition. We're about 10 minutes away from Jessica joining us from ShePodcasts, and we're going to talk about their Kickstarter. But Rob, real quickly, what's been going on this week? How you been?
I'm doing all right. I was down in Phoenix, Arizona for half of the week this week, speaking at a conference down there. It was called the E-Alliance's Grand Table down there, and it was an event that had a bunch of business leaders there, CEOs, like the founder of Oculus was there, and the founder of Priceline, and a bunch of celebrities and business executives and those kind of folks down there. And I got a chance to talk about podcasting to that community. It's about 400 people. So it was really exciting to speak to a community of people that are not involved in podcasting, but they seem to all love podcasting and they want to be involved in it. They just weren't sure how to get involved with it before then. So people are coming out of the woodwork now. So I think it's a sign that we've kind of moved into a different era in the podcasting space where pretty much everybody knows about the medium and is excited about it. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I very rarely I ran into someone the other day. Had a guy in here that was doing a quote for me for my move. And he came and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Do you know what a podcast is?" "Yep." And I said, "I also do live." Oh, but he didn't really know too much about podcasting. But it's usually very rarely do I have someone say, "I don't know what that is." But so anyway, and then I noticed your microphone also too is doing like this a little bit too. So I think we're going to have to somehow get you to give up Windows.
That was fine earlier in the day. I don't know what happened. Just the power surge.
There's a cool thing that they sell on the market. You can go down to Best Buy or you can go on Amazon. It's called a UPS. Universal Power Supply. All this stuff in this studio is on UPS. I've got about 21 minutes once the power goes out to get everything shut down. So that's a very cool, worthy investment.
Well, actually, I'm using a Surface computer and it has a battery in it, so I was able to stay up. But
the rest, the peripherals,
it's all
dropped.
The other stuff, right? It's all the other stuff that got this surge.
And that's what I have all my stuff wired in so that when the power goes out, the gear stays on and nothing does a weirdo disconnect, so I can gracefully shut down if the power doesn't come back. But it sounds like a fire engine in here because 5 UPSs start going beep 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 beep.
That's awesome.
So just for me, it's just been lots of NAB stuff coming in. People, let's appointment. Tuesday, I don't know about you, but Tuesday seems we're gonna be slammed because Tuesday everyone wants to talk on Tuesday.
Well, that's probably the most popular day is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So my schedule is boom, 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 boom. I mean, absolutely full. Every 30 minutes, there's a new person. And I was like, hey, Monday's wide open. Wednesday's wide open. No, I want to meet on Tuesday. So people must just come in Monday and then meet Tuesday and blast. But lots of interesting people who want to talk and some off-site discussions too. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I'm going to be in my booth most of the time. There's only going to be 2 of us there, so I'll be there most of the time.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah, well, that's why we're both going to be in the booth the whole time.
Yeah. I've got 4 people on the ground, but 2 of us are going to be like this all over the place. So
right. No, it's going to be exciting. We're in the Central Hall, which I don't know if you're familiar with the event. Central Hall is like ground zero, so that's like the highest traffic area.
Yep. So and it's I'm looking at the positioning, pretty happy. And so, again, if any of you are coming to Vegas for NAB, make sure you come over to, it's in the 3000s. It's actually the Podcast Pavilion.
I think I'm at C2634. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah, I think I'm in C. Well, it's weird how that number works. I have to look at my number. But anyway, just look for the Podcast Pavilion. It's one of those breakout areas where we're all clustered together. So if you see Rob, you can see me. We'll be throwing squeezy balls at each other.
Nerf wars going on during the booth.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I actually fly out tonight. So I have to leave for the airport in 2.5 hours. And
I'm flying out tomorrow afternoon. So
get in and red eye in, and then enjoy breakfast and wait for my hotel room, I guess. So the rest of the team gets in throughout the rest of the day, then set up on Sunday, and then off to the races on Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
So anything else has been, I don't know if there's been a lot of news this week. And I'd be honest with you, I've been kind of head down, not really paying attention too much. There's a couple of things that I chuckled about that came in very podnews.net, talking about the understanding podcast metrics using pizza. Did you read that?
Oh, yes, I did. No, yeah. It was done by
Mark.
No, was it Mark?
Was it Mark? It was
no, I think it was the fellow from Pacific Content.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But
so
Meisner, I think, is his last name. But,
it was the guy at Pacific Content. Yeah, it's Jimmy and the Magic Pizza Shop. So it is kind of a layman ways of explaining it. But you guys announced that Spotify was number 1 for podcasts in Spain, Indonesia, and India, huh?
Yeah. That was the big find that we've been seeing in our numbers. And so, Spotify's making some big moves, and there's some exciting stuff happening somewhat with Pandora too. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that we can talk about it very much. But things are looking better. I could not meet with them this week. They wanted to meet, but I had how should I say it? I had a frank email with them. Yeah.
Very frank.
I had a call with them, and so it was some improvements. I'm not going to go into any kind of detail.
Yeah, because you're sworn to secrecy like I am, but we haven't had a follow-up meeting. I'll do it Monday when we get back from NAB. But I said, listen, here's what was my essence. I don't want to pick winners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be forced to pick winners. And when I mean that, I don't want to be forced. I don't want to be the one to be forced to pick which shows we're going to submit to them. And
there's some positive movement on that. So
well, anyway, we will. We'll let for Pandora to make some announcements on that. But again, I made some pretty frank email. It was a pretty frank email. BBC's making a prediction that podcast listening will quadruple by 2021. That's pretty bold.
That is pretty bold. Yeah. Yeah, Todd, I also see that you joined my new Facebook group.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get a chance to go in, but we're making advertising better or something like that.
Better Podcast Ads group on Facebook. So the idea is for podcasters, brands, ad agencies, and ad tech platforms to better connect, to discuss ways to improve pre-produced ad creative that drives ROI, audience experiences, and overall revenue for all. So start getting everybody talking about how we can improve podcast ads, and from a creative perspective, and bringing all of the people together, like voiceover artists and things like that, into the mix too. So I've been talking to a variety of people in the industry, trying to come up with some kind of standardized, to some degree, some standard practices that some of the more successful kind of ad groups are pulling together their concepts on how to actually produce better podcast ads.
So it looks like Jessica's trying to join us. Jessica, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me? Can you guys see me?
We can't see you.
I know. It's very strange because it just says ringing and I just see me, but I don't see you guys. Maybe I can try again. Let me try again.
All right.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry. It's been a morning. It's been an afternoon of weirdness.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back.
Is it a full moon today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look.
All right. Well, we'll try it again and see what happens.
But yeah, it's been a weird week. Back-to-back trade shows and conferences is always stressful.
Yeah, and I've got my suitcases open and I'm looking at it and I feel like, what's missing? You know, because I'm like,
just like panic.
It's really, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I got my shoes, underwear, socks, belt, shave kit, everything, and I'm looking in there. I'm like, something's missing, and I sure enough, I'll get to Vegas and I'll be like, oh, forgot ties or something like that. But
yeah, Todd, I don't have to ever worry about forgetting a tie
because you don't wear a tie.
No,
I only need to wear a tie one day, so I've got to.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Meeting someone important, so I got to step it up a little bit. But you will not see me with a tie in the booth. The second that meeting's over, the tie's coming off.
Oh yeah. Well, I saw a lot of ties at that event that I was at down in Phoenix. So I guess it's still a thing in the business community.
Yeah, it is. And the farther east you go, the more dressed up you get. I can walk into a meeting in California and a pair of Dockers and a T-shirt probably be okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Hello,
Jessica.
How are you guys? Nice to see you.
Nice
and see you.
Yes. Thank you for
see you
and
too.
I actually see you. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. I have to actually tease Rob. Rob, Jessica's video looks beautiful. You look cloudy.
I suck today, and everything
I'm
technology.
Sorry.
I just suck.
Let me ask you, Jessica, are you on a Mac or are you on a PC?
I'm on a Mac.
Man, strike me through the heart, man.
Well,
I mean, it's what we do. Macs are very important for being able to process files.
And
I don't think any PC has ever done justice.
Well, in all honesty, we're recording audio on a PC. The TriCaster is a PC. I'm probably going to get struck down here in a second. And the cameras are not. My cameras are not PC cameras. They are professional. $3,000 cameras. So I should look beautiful in the frame shot here.
You look beautiful. It does look like you're already gorgeous. In Vegas, even though you're not.
Yeah.
Got some pretty lights back there and everything.
Yeah. So
very fancy.
And I think what it is I normally do this show in the dark, so there's really there's no reflection in the room. So today the glass is all glaring. So I saw your Slack message this morning. You guys are like 70 or 80% towards your goal. Let's talk about the Kickstarter. And for those that don't know, get your checkbooks out.
Yeah, I think it's even more now. Let me just double check to see how far along we are.
Yeah,
because so many in the Slack group donated, and Elsie and I are both so grateful because we're getting so close. It's like we're coming around the corner to the end finally, and I'm overjoyed about it.
We got to tell everybody what's the Kickstarter? What are you doing? And for the ladies, listen. This is important, ladies. For the ladies that are listening.
86%. So Elsie and I have decided to throw a podcast. You there?
Yeah, you're good. Nope. You see yourself when I flip you. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. So we have decided to do a ShePodcast conference. There's only one other women's conference, and I attended a bunch of years ago with like a first or second one, and it was very much geared towards women who work for a corporation. Like a lot of the content was, going up the corporate ladder or negotiating salary, things like that. So I wanted to have a women's conference that was more for independent, or at least more inclusive for everybody. It didn't even have to be more independent, but just for, the podcasters that are in our group. Elsie and I have we're like 9 people away from 12,000 women in ShePodcasts. And that's pretty amazing. I mean, I know there are bigger podcasting groups, but not sans male. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty proud of that. To be honest with you, one of the things that I think it was last year's podcast movement, everything was starting really early. And I was very excited to not be home. Oh, because it was in Philly. It was right here in my hometown. But, I was kind of like excited for a little getaway. And I just felt like I was waking up even earlier than I would have if I was taking my kid to school. And I just was like, that's the first thing I'm going to do is make sure people have a chance to like sleep in if they're waking up with kids or waking up to go to a job, because it's just something I don't think. I mean, I know we want to shove in as much content as possible, but also I want to be able to just talk to these people. And that's something I don't feel like I get a lot at other conferences because there's so much stuff packed in. I just want to be able to cheers with them and, eat with them and be able to just kibitz, not to use the Yiddish term, but, just to chit chat with them a little bit and and listen to what they have to say. Every time I meet a ShePodcaster, I'm amazed at how amazing they are. Just the things that they've accomplished and the things that their shows are about, all kinds of charity and philanthropy and niches. And, they're all very accomplished women in so many different fields. And I don't know that there's necessarily room to hear all of them speak at conferences that are just focused on podcasting. Not that this one isn't, but I just, but when you have to include everybody, it can be difficult to hear who you want to hear, I guess. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
So the Kickstarter is for an event, and
yes, it's for a conference in Atlanta, Georgia.
And I hear that while you're not excluding the fellas, it's primarily for the ladies. That's what I'm hearing. Is that true? Or
yeah. So Dave was concerned that because he couldn't come because he had a dangly, and I was like, "There's no bouncers. There will be no dangly bouncers." I know, he's so funny. I was like, there's nobody checking at the door. I mean, like, I went to blog her. There's tons of mom conferences and blogging conferences, and they're geared towards women, but there are tons of men there. And I sort of assume this conference will be the same. It's just that I'm going to, we will have predominantly female speakers like they do. We would have predominantly, I will gear the decorations and the. You still like that? You're stuck on that, are you, Todd?
Yeah.
The decorations, the content, all of that's going to be geared towards what I think is missing from the other, what I think I'd like to hear. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, I mean, listen, there's lots of other podcast conferences where we get to hear what, like, Pat Flynn has to say and, like, whomever else. I don't know. Oh, pardon my Apple Watch is so rude. She interrupts all the time. But yeah, I mean, I assumed that there would be male vendors, certainly.
Right.
And, and they'll be popping in and out of sessions, I'm sure. And I don't know, it's just a different approach to planning the entire thing from the event.
Do you want to hear, Jessica, you froze there midstream for a second. I thought we lost you. So I'm glad you're okay.
I'm okay.
The thing that Rob will agree with, well, you can agree or not agree, but I know he's going to agree. The number one thing that drives me crazy about all events is you go to, we're all there, we're networking, we're having fun, or, we're talking, we're going to sessions, and then maybe in the evening, we wander off to a place where maybe there's an event. And it's 5 million decibels.
I know.
And we're all screaming at each other.
That's so true.
And we've been talking all day in a conference anywhere where we've had to raise our voice, and then they take us to a venue where it's 5 million decibels, and you literally have to yell. So
it's annoying. I end up staying in the hotel bar as a result, which is actually where I saw you the first night. As a matter of fact, we were able to chit, and you too, Rob. We were chit-chatting in the hotel bar because I don't even think I went to the party because I was writing jokes.
No.
But yeah, I knew it would be too loud. So my ideas for entertainment, obviously we can't do all of them, but I thought our own karaoke party or pajama party with popcorn and either watch movies, not The Messengers, but other movies. And then, or even just have Mary Nichols. She's a DJ, but, have it come on and off so that we can talk to one another. A talent show could be fun. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff where we can still drink and have a good time together, but not have to get all dressed up, get on a bus, go somewhere else, drink a ton. Like, you can still drink if you want to, but I'm not sure I don't want to fluff up every night. It's exhausting.
Right.
I want people, and this is a big hotel, so there's plenty of space to just do whatever. I'd like to just be able to go up and down in the hotel, if that's the one that we're using. We're still in negotiations with them, but
and make sure.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to leave a lot.
And and make sure that you can get water during the day, during the event. Where God, I'm about like to. I was like, you don't sell water here. I'm just anyway. But anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. It's pretty weird that also in Atlanta, it's the home of Coca-Cola, and a lot of hotels will only serve Pepsi. That's very strange. I know.
It must be a badge of honor. Pepsi must come in and give them such cheap deals they can't. And it's just it's a little stab at Coke or something.
They must have partnered with Marriott or something, because it really is crazy. Like, if people have such strong preferences. Anyway, that's not important. The important part is, I want people to be able to have food and drinks whenever they want, but also I want there to be I was really looking for lots of space for people to have meetings. I don't like when there's not enough places that are quiet to talk. Like, I know a lot of times in hotels, like, there's a cafe with Starbucks, but also it's crammed full of people.
So
you can't have a conversation because everyone's interrupting to say hi, right?
And little comfy tables to sit around, 3, 4, 5 people, have a discussion. That's that networking stuff because I will just look for a group and plop down and say, hey, I'm Todd. How you guys? What are you doing? What's your podcast? That's the fun part about a conference. And,
I agree.
And the ladies are so sociable anyway. It's going to be, you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
I would like to think that we're going to have a lot of fun, and I think that the men that would, here's another reason why we're allowing men to come, because I think that the caliber of men that want to come or will be there are the kinds that already are teaching the women and making them feel, encouraged and supported. Like, the guys who are like, I'm not going to that woman's event, are the ones we don't want.
Right.
So it's like, it's fine to say come. because the ones who are like, I'm going to a ShePodcast conference, that's going to be super fun. That's the dude I want there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy to have Dave Jackson and all the Dave Jacksons come, because he's like the best guy ever.
Yeah.
The danglers can
all the
can
danglies.
Make it, huh?
I'm not looking for danglers.
And here's the good part too is I think what we have seen, at least I've seen over going to all these events, is that we have a pretty diverse, respectful group. I don't think there's always a weirdo or two. But, I think for the most part, I think it'll be an event that the women can feel comfortable coming to and having a good time and network. And
comfortable.
Yeah.
They're always comfortable. I think it's just a question of, do we have, I mean, I don't know. I can't even, I'm just the keynotes, for example. Like, would the CEO of Libsyn, or I don't know who else, Lisa Lampanelli, would we be able to have 6 female keynotes at any other conference? Would we be able to hear like Katie Krimitsos talk about in a keynote like to have her second baby and start another podcast like at the same time?
Some of these conferences we've heard the same keynote 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it gets old.
Elsie and I are going out of our way to make sure that we hear new and different voices.
That's right. And
completely new and different and diverse.
In most conferences, the ladies get 25% of the slots, maybe?
I know, and that's not even people of color. I don't even know.
Right.
Probably 10% of that. I mean, let's say 10% of a conference is people of color, although they have worked to be better about that.
But there's incredibly successful women, so there's going to be plenty in the podcasting space. So you guys are going to have plenty of options for keynoters. You guys you're going to be trying to figure out who you have to say no to. That's going to be the problem.
Well, let's just talk about swag, for example. If you guys, for example, are going to be sponsors, I would request that you have ladies' t-shirts made up for once.
By the way,
just saying.
By the way, we always have lady t-shirts.
Not everyone does, though.
Yeah, we always do.
Not everyone does.
Yeah.
I would like to have swag made for the ladies. I mean, give us our little chapsticks and our, and our lady-size t-shirts and stuff that we are more prone to using, whatever it may be.
And matter of fact, I will dictate it now. There will be no men's t-shirts taken to ShePodcasts.
I mean,
right.
I'm not checking at the door, but
no, I know.
I just want the swag geared towards women. I think that would be nice to have a bag full of swag that I would use every single thing in it, not be like done, don't want this, don't want that. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Because because that's what happens in most of the paper that we hand out. It all ends up in the. I would love to see the trash can dumps after a conference. How much stuff? Because what do? I sit in the room with the camera and I click with my phone and click. I take pictures of all the everything that we've stolen off of other vendors, tables, and looking for their new printouts. I take pictures of it, and the rest of it goes in the circle can. So.
Yeah, I hope they recycle.
So
I hope those places,
sure
those conference places.
Yes.
There's so much paper.
Yes.
But I think it's exciting. So I think you guys are going to. So where's your number right now? You want to raise $25,000. You've got about 10 days left.
I have 11 days left, and I'm at $21,608. So we're 86% funded.
So you got like $3,400 left to go. You're going to make that. Yeah, easy peasy.
I hope so. I'm very touched by. I was a little nervous. I've never done a Kickstarter before, and I've never done this event before, and it was a big risk to say, like, hey, can you fund this event that you may hate when you get there? Or, clearly I've never done it before, and, you're just going to have faith that I'm going to do my absolute best. And, I mean, even the $21,000, even if we never made it, I'm very, very flattered and honored that many people are like, yeah, I believe in you, and I know you guys can do this. So it's been really cool. It's been very, very cool. Ever since I started ShePodcasts, I always wanted to have conferences. I got pregnant instead, and Elsie had little ones, and it's very hard to do a conference and take your show on the road when you have littles. But I wanted to do them for a long time. I love having parties. I love mixing people up and getting them together. I love feeding people as a good Jewish mother should.
What do you think are you going to do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What are you thinking of doing for your event?
Definitely all day Friday and Friday night, all day Saturday. Yeah, all day Friday, Friday night, all day Saturday, Saturday night. And I'm thinking Sunday, a social event in the morning, like a brunch or like a goodbye, like nothing where everyone has to come into the ballroom, but like feeding people and then saying goodbye or nothing formal.
So, and it's going to be, you're thinking Atlanta? Where are you thinking?
It's definitely Atlanta, Georgia. So it's in Atlanta, and we're looking at the Marriott Marquis right now, which I believe houses Dragon Con, which I didn't know that. Have you heard of Dragon Con?
Well, I've heard of it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually spoke at it last year. I'm going to be speaking at it this year too. It's a big, it's got a big kind of podcasting conference component to it, but it's a huge party.
It's a huge party.
What did you think of the hotel?
It's
the biggest party I've ever been to. It spanned 6-7 different hotels right in downtown.
But what about the hotel, the main hotel, Rob? How was it? She's asking.
It's good. It's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yep.
And it is attached to 2 other hotels. You're right. There's the Hilton on one side and the Hyatt on the other. You never run out of space.
I saw Batman. I saw 6 Batman and 6 Supermen walking between the hotels. So if that tells you anything about that event.
Go ahead.
So what's your goals for numbers then? 100, 200, 300?
Well, I'm working with Chris Kremitzos, and he did a Kickstarter for the Messengers. And in his experience, he said, whatever you get by the time the Kickstarter closes, it will at least double as far as your attendance. So right now we have about 100 attendees. So it would we'll at least have 200 to 300 there. I would like to have about 800, but I don't know how far my reach is. I'm going to Outlier Festival and I'm going to Podcast Movement. And if there's a way that I can, kind of charm people into trying out our event, I will definitely do that. But my goal, my ultimate goal would be 500. I think we can do 500 the first year.
What's the date?
It is October 11th, 12th, and 13th.
So that gets you 2 months beyond. Is it when's Podcast Movement? August?
Yeah, it's the middle of August.
So it gets you 2 months past Podcast Movement. That helps.
Yes. I tried to get it far away from any other conference because I don't like them to be on top of one another.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any. The next thing would be Chris's conference in the spring. So I think you found the right spot.
I hope so. Atlanta's going to be good weather. It's close to Elsie. She hates traveling away from her fam. So it's like 3 hours away from her. I love traveling. So it's perfectly far away enough for me. I've never been to Atlanta. We got to have a tour of the city when I went there last week to look at hotels, and it was so charming. And I got to see where Martin Luther King Jr. was born. And I got to see, I think Georgia, right down the street from the hotels, is like the world's largest and coolest aquarium. So yeah, there's tons of stuff to do in Atlanta. I'm really excited. I don't sound excited because it's late at night, but I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I've honestly had the best time just putting this together so far, and I haven't even gotten started. But just seeing all the people that want to speak, all the people that want to sponsor, just thinking about envisioning what the rooms will look like, what kind of cute little things we can put in the hotel room, what kind of stuff we're going to feed people. Like, I just love every aspect of having this party already, and it hasn't even really begun. So
you
I'm
are
having the best time.
You are prepared to be completely and utterly exhausted.
I mean, that's every day. So yeah, I will say this is something I'm not prepared for, Todd, is like ever since I started planning it, I'm a lot dumber. Like I can't remember my own name. I've got so much in my brain that like it's taking up room that other things used to take up. So like I keep forgetting like normal things, and like I've been very not forgetful, but like just enough in conversation I can't find the right, what is that? Oh, right, a notepad? You think I need a notepad?
It sits by my desk because
write it down.
I have to write it down, and then I put it digitally at some point. But if something comes to me, and if it's like call Rob, I'll like call Rob.
Yeah, because I'm trying to use Asana.
Because when you're juggling literally hundreds of things, and I feel like I do that every day, and it's overwhelming at times. You just have to write it down, or 2 weeks later you can be like, because you will have forgot. You will have forgot something that you were supposed to do, and someone will be mad at you, and I'll be like, "What? Why didn't I write it down?" So
I set an alarm for this show on my phone, so I couldn't forget. Alarms are helpful.
They are.
But yeah, there's a lot taking up space in there, and I don't want to. I already am very careful about that because I have attention deficit issues, and so I'm very cautious about writing stuff down and making sure I know everything. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but really fun. And there's so many people want to help me.
Yeah,
and amazing ideas.
So don't just delegate away. But know that they can handle it. Trust but verify. But delegate as much as you can, because otherwise you're going to be we've talked about doing a small conference we've got a great auditorium where we rent where our office is at, and it seats a couple hundred people. And I've always thought, well, let's just have a one-day event where we fire hose people on podcasting. And then I think about, it's 2 months of work just to get 1 day's worth of stuff ready.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I wish I would have started earlier, because I understand now why Dan and Jared and Chris, like the whole year is working on the one event. That's their full-time job, and I knew it would be my full-time job, but I see why now. There's just so many tiny little details.
Yeah, the tiny.
But again, I'm really enjoying it. Like, also the thing about a conference is if you don't like planning that stuff, you'll be in hell. And I'm really liking it. I like juggling a lot of stuff, I think. So it's been really good. I just want to make it the best possible conference for our budget and for our people. I want it to be everything that they want. I want it to be relaxing and uplifting and engaging and educational and everything that, the other conferences are, but also relaxing and fun.
So what do you think? Think things are going to kick off about 2:00 in the afternoon then?
No, 10 a.m. 10 is good. If nothing, if we can just allow people to get their sleep in a little and like get breakfast and, nothing starts before 10.
Yeah, that's the first day of NAB. And I always tell the folks, we're going to breakfast, we're going to chill, and then we'll very calmly get on the monorail at 9 a.m. and
Does that work?
It does. Believe it or not, if you set the mood, if you force the mood. Now, I can't help it if someone oversleeps, and I'm not a babysitter. I'm like, well, you'll catch up.
Yeah.
And because I've done too many things over the years where I'm going to do CES. I used to go in nuclear meltdown planning that event because I had so much money on the line, and my money, my checkbook. So and I finally this year I just told another guy, you've got it next year. It's all you. Go ahead. I'll show up and participate.
Maybe it'll turn out to be a mistake that I'm more loose with the schedule, that I want things to start later, that I think dinner, that I think people don't have to end things at 4 and 5. Things can go until 6, and then you eat, and then you do an activity. Like, I like to be a little bit looser, and maybe there's a reason. I've tried to reinvent the wheel before, and it didn't go well. Maybe it won't go well again. I don't know. But
the majority of good, juicy stuff that you get from a conference happens between 8 p.m. and midnight.
Oh, I think you're right. I love those conversations. I totally think. In fact, let's just not even do anything except that.
Because
for like 2 whole days.
I call it holding court. I try to find in a bar a big area where a bunch of people can get around. I order a bunch of liquor in, and then we get everyone around and we talk story and smack and have fun and share ideas and concerns, and and we all pass the hat around on who's driving a topic, and and we didn't have that at PodFest. I was disappointed because the whole crowd just evaporated almost.
I sat with you and Rob and Dave. It wasn't very long because I was tired, but it was just one night. You're right. The party was very loud. And they do pack a lot in. Chris he's done like over 2,000 events. He really knows what he's doing, which is why I'm happy that I've partnered with him. But for this, he's just trying to execute my vision, and my vision is much heavier mix of social, and I hope that works out. And people aren't just like, I paid money and like all we did was chit chat with one another. But I feel like that's what makes this community so good. Like, we all work for different podcasting companies, but we're very, you guys do a show together, we're all very friendly. There's competition, but not angry, bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a girl, so maybe I'm just not part of it, but like, I don't see a lot of anger and bitterness. I see, especially in our Slack group, like a lot of collaboration and mind melding, I guess, if you will. And I really like that. And I think the holding court is a huge part of taking that home. Being able to work together at home is because of those times, I think. People
always ask, they see Rob Walsh and I talking to each other, and we're like, you guys aren't duking it out? Like, no, we're friends, but we compete. We have different mindsets. So it's, it's kind of funny when
sometimes
some people see us together and they're talking to each other like, yeah, of course. So yeah, the space is what it is.
I'm going to get you guys.
There are a lot of people in the community that don't talk to each other very much.
Oh, that's true.
I know that's true. I know that's true.
The newcomers don't talk to us.
Yeah, they tend to be the newer folks.
Yeah, and they throw their nose in the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's a mistake because you guys are so full of knowledge. It's a shame that they don't.
And we go and talk to them, and it's like they're looking. Because if you didn't raise $100 million in VC, you're whatever.
I know that's just silly.
Right.
I agree. Well, that's a totally different. But I also feel like that's a totally different game they're playing.
True. I have a hard stop at 4:00. My time is 4, 9 or whatever time it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So, Jessica, please tell us where everyone needs to go to get involved with the Kickstarter and put their $149 or $249 or $50 down to support the event.
Or even $20. Kickstarter, it's ShePodcast.com/Kickstarter. If this is a little bit later and you're watching this as a rerun, you can just go to ShePodcast.com/live, and it will redirect either to the event website or to the Kickstarter, depending on where we are in the funding process. At this moment, we are 86% funded, and it would be so amazing if I could get to 90 by Monday. What a huge load off that would be. And so, yeah, if you have any extra spare change, please put it in our collection box, because Elsie and I every night are like biting our nails and like hoping that it gets funded. I don't want to run you over 4 o'clock, but I do want to say thank you so much for having me on. I love talking to you guys as always. You guys are the best, and I hope that you'll come to Atlanta and hang out with us a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and we're gonna miss you in Vegas, but we'll be.
No, I love NAB.
Yeah, so but But we'll be watching your ticker as the money comes in. We'll get you over the hump.
Thank you.
We're all going to help you get over the hump. So,
thank you guys. Love you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, as we wrap up out of here, Rob, any comments before we head off to Vegas?
I was just going to say the thing that really jumped out to me as I was looking at things after my trip was how beer brands are starting to advertise in podcasts.
Oh,
that
great.
was interesting. So you start looking at, I guess, 7 major beer brands are starting to advertise in podcasts now. So, I guess maybe we can have a beer sponsor at some point,
That would be awesome. I don't think I would want to drink at 6 a.m. in the morning, but when I move to Michigan, we can definitely have I can have a beer at least by noon because it'll be past 12 o'clock, at least in my time zone. So it'll be even crazier if we start drinking on this show. No, thank you. All right. Yeah. Everyone, newmediashow.com. Make sure you subscribe. If you have comments, Todd at blueberry.com, Rob at Voxnest, or Rob at robgreenlee.com, or Rob at Spreaker.com, at Geek News, at Rob Greenlee.
Wow, you got it all covered, Todd.
Yeah, I've got to get us out of here because I've got to leave. So everyone, thanks. And if you come to Vegas, come by and see us all. See the whole podcasting at the Podcast Pavilion. Right. So everyone, take care. We'll see you. Won't be next Saturday. No show next Saturday because I won't be back. So we'll skip a week here. So everyone, take care. We'll see you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Bye.